talking about the higher frequencies, one of the issues that's being raised by the higher frequencies among many is the impact to the bees and to insects. Because as the size of the wave matches the size of the insect, so it can resonate and be more highly absorbed. This study, just showing you images from a study, again, it looks like a heat map, looked at the higher frequencies on the honeybee, and they looked at 5 insects. They also looked at insects at various, they looked at the bee at different stages of the life cycle, and found that the higher frequencies resonated with the bee and were much more highly absorbed and could impact the bee's behavior because of biochemical changes that can happen because of that. There are many other studies which we have on our website showing impacts to honey production, to reproduction of bees, where bees didn't come back to a hive when wireless radiation was placed near it.
For decades, there has been irrefutable evidence that electromagnetic waves have an influence, both thermally and non-thermally, on living beings, including people.
5G has triggered irrational fears, but experts are also concerned. Daniel Favre is among hundreds of scientists who think precautionary steps should be taken. He signed appeals sent to the United Nations and European Union asking for the health effects of it to be reassessed. Daniel has been looking into the impact of electromagnetic fields on honeybees for years.
This cell phone emits the waves, while this one receives the waves. At the same time, I have a device that records the sound that the colony makes in the beehive. This is why it is connected to a microphone placed under the beehive. Look at the waveform there. The thicker it is, the greater the intensity of the sound. When the phones are active, the colony is disturbed, and as soon as the phone's turned off, the colony reverts to its normal noise.
Implementing 5G safely for people and the environment requires more time for independent research and to better digest the information already available in the thousands of papers that have been published on it. This is what Enrico Stura told us. He is an electronic engineer specializing in molecular biophysics.
The electromagnetic waves produced by personal telecommunication systems during reasonable periods of time lead to demonstrable and proven DNA damages.
There's a study, radio frequency radiation injures trees around mobile phone base stations, that was a field study that went for years looking at different trees and communities and took pictures every year, and they found that trees which were in line of sight of the cell antennas had damage and over time ultimately needed to be felled. So here you can see where there's the antenna. This is one of the pictures. And then you see the thinning out of the crown. There's studies that have looked at impacts to plants and have found biological effects. So we have quite a situation if we're going to be peppering all of Montgomery County and all of the United States and the world with these antennas.